Welcome back to Roosevelt Live. On the 26th of May, Gary Coleman, and we all know him from the TV show that he had when he was a kid. He passed away. He apparently went to the hospital after allegedly some type of incident at his home where he hit his head, but no one seemed to know how he hit his head. No information has come out yet to explain to us what actually happened to him. But he went into the hospital. He was living in Utah. He went to the hospital there where he went in critical condition. I understand on the next day he was actually talking, but still obviously in some type of bad shape. But by the 28th, 27th actually, he went into a coma. And on the 28th, I think at 12:05, he was pronounced dead. They removed life support. He was like a lot of child stars, he was troubled as a kid. He was estranged from his parents. He had a problem with money that he had earned during the time that he was on the program, and actually he sued his parents, believe it or not, and I think he sued his parents and his manager, and he got some of his money back, I think 1.2 million, something like that back, and he wound up a few years later filing bankruptcy. So I don't know if they were right or he was right. I mean, it was his money, so I guess he earned the right to spend it as he saw fit. But after going broke, or filing bankruptcy at least anyway, that don't necessarily mean you're actually broke. People file bankruptcy a lot of times, they actually have property, they actually have things. But under those old bankruptcy laws, you could actually keep certain stuff and still file bankruptcy. So I don't know how broke he really was. But he did file bankruptcy, and then he tried to commit suicide. It was shortly after that, a few years after that, he tried to commit suicide for whatever reasons. He was depressed and down, and a lot of childhood actors and actresses go through these type of depressions after they're no longer that little kid. Gary Coleman, I think he had kidney disease at birth, and it stunted his growth, from what I understand. So he never was a big man in stature. I'm sure he worked hard in the industry because he actually was in about 20 movies. A lot of them was made for television type of stuff, but it's about 20 movies, and that was good over the length of time. From 1978 to pretty much the current time, he was doing stuff all the way up. So he was acting for some 32 years or whatever it was that he was doing his thing, and he actually appeared on quite a few different television shows. I think he was on Good Times. I mean, as far as a guest appearance on these shows, Jamie Foxx show, Wayne Brothers, just to mention a few of them. He did a lot of stuff. Even after he left his show, he did a lot of stuff. So he was out and about. He had some brushes with the law. He had some problems, and a couple of arrests was going on, and it happens to everybody. So we're not trying to beat the guy up. He's passed out of this world now, and he's passed on to whatever you believe that happens to a person, whether you're a religious person, you may believe in heaven and hell, and if you're not, then you may believe he's just passed away, and it's in the story. Just in what you believe. It's not me to decide where he went, because I don't know where he went. I don't even know the man, period. But I did enjoy watching him as I was growing up, even though I'm older than he is. But I enjoyed watching him. I thought he was a funny little kid. He played really little kid, but he was actually, I think he was about 10 years old, because he was born in 68. So in 78, when he started the role, he was already 10 years old, but he was pretty small. So he looked like he was like 4 or 5, something like that. So he was pretty good at it. He was a natural. And you don't find those people that much, but being that he had not spoken to his parents in years, he had no communication with them. He actually got married to his now wife. I think her name is Shannon Price, in 2007, and she was 22 years old at the time, so she's about 25 now. And they had a relationship they had a lot of issues going on, because I think at one time she was gotten in trouble for domestic violence, I think, on him. And I think he had an assault charge or something within the marriage. So they was having problems in their marriage. And people do have problems. Not all have the same, but if you're in a relationship, you have problems. Not necessarily beating people up. I'm not advocating that, and no stretch of the imagination. But it was sad to see him pass away at such a young age. The concern I have is that the spokesman at the police department in Utah made a statement saying that there was no foul play involved. And I'm trying to figure out, how does he know for sure? Because at this point, We don't know how he hit his head. No one is talking. The wife didn't make any statements. The brother of the wife made a statement, but it was so brief. It almost sounded like he was reading something at the daily newspaper. It didn't seem to have any remorse. Didn't sound like he even. I mean, it's just my opinion, but didn't sound like they had much of. He was hurt by the death of Gary Coleman at all. At least that's how it appeared to me. I don't know what he was thinking, but that's how it came across to me personally. So, not knowing what happened to him, I'm troubled by the police spokesperson making that statement, saying that no foul play was involved, because I don't know how you could say that. If someone hits their head at their home and no one knows what happened, and it goes from a head injury to death, from a head injury to a coma to death, that in itself warrants some type of investigation. Someone needs to know how he fell, who was with him when he fell, what he hit his head on, to what degree, what was going on before he fell. All these things are questions that I think has to be and need to be answered. And I've been watching television the last few days, and his story has come up, and they've talked a lot about some of his indiscretions, some of his problems, I should say indiscretions, but some of the problems he's had as far as with the brushes with the law and stuff. But they haven't talked about or touched on what happened to him. And I think, like, they pursue some of these people that I won't name names of, some of these people that have been in the news for months now, since November, that they've been, chasing and talking about. I think this is a legitimate case of what happened to Gary Coleman. And even his family, even though they was estranged from him, they're asking questions. They just want to know what happened to their son. How did he get injured? And I'm hearing that they're not getting the answers, and I don't know why. If they're not getting any, I don't know why the wife, Miss Price, wouldn't give his parents, even if she didn't know he had parents, even if he didn't tell her because he was estranged from them himself. Once she discovered that there is parents out there, the right thing to do is to go to those people and tell them everything you know. Let them know what happened to their son. They deserve to know, irregardless of their relationship. And if she hasn't told them, then she needs to tell them. And if she has told them, they haven't said they know. So I assume that she has not told them what happened. And that is a mystery. And that to me is concerning, because if you're not talking about what happened, you make me think that some foul play took place. And if that did happen, we don't want another Michael Jackson, because after all, not that I'm trying to change subject, but in another 24 days from now, we'll be up 1 year, Michael Jackson's anniversary since he died. And nobody's still in jail. And we don't even talk about it anymore. And I think that's sad. So we hope if something did happen to Gary that wasn't right, that we get to the bottom of it. And if he just was a freak accident and he got injured and he fell, he tripped over something, whatever, then the public want to know. I want to know, because he was one of my favorite little actors growing up, and even though I don't know the man personally, I still would like to know what happened to him. So, I mean, what do you think? Is it even important to you? Do you care? Do you not care? Maybe. I know there's other topics out here, other things that we're concerned about, especially with the oil spill. But I'm just asking on a personal note, what do you think about it? I mean, if you agree with me and you think it's something suspicious going on, then you can email me. And even if you disagree with me and you think that it's just blown out of proportion, there's no big deal, still I would like to hear from you. So whatever you think, that's my opinion. I would like to know what your opinion is. I would like to know how you see things. So you can email me at liveroosevelt@gmail.com, or you can check out segments of the show on youtube.com/Roosevelt Live. That's how I see it. That's my opinion. What is yours?